Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Mystery. Welcome to my first video on basic skills building. Skills building is something that's really important in art and design practice, and the first task I'm going to get you to do is learning and understanding your pencils. So if you have a set of sketching pencils and you're not sure how to use them, this is a perfect task to start with. If you want to learn how to shade better and make your shading more effective, then again, this is a great task to start with. So we are going to be in this video looking at B pencils only. And we're going to learn how we can shade with them and layer them and use them together in order to apply those skills to other things. So the next video after this one will be looking at something like this. But before we get to that point, we need to understand and learn how to use our pencils properly. So please do send me your work, use the hashtag Mrs. Mystery Makes, send me them on Instagram and Facebook. I've also included in the description of this video a free printable box drawing, so you don't have to draw it out, but I think it is good if you do draw it out because it really helps you with your measuring and learning how to use a ruler skill, which is really, really important anyway. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is map out some boxes so you can test your pencils. I'm going to show you how to create these boxes. Each box is 4 centimetres by 4 centimetres with a 2 centimetre gap in between. It doesn't really matter what size your boxes are. I just found that this fit nicely onto an A4 page. So I'll show you how to do that now. So just taking a normal HB pencil and your ruler, starting at the top corner of your page, and you're just going to line your ruler up with 0 at the edge of the piece of paper, and you're going to mark 2 centimetres. And then you're going to move your ruler down just over halfway and do another marker at 2 centimetres. And then you're just going to line those 2 markers up. Like that. And now we're going to place our ruler at 0, but on the line that we've just drawn. And we're going to measure up to 4 centimetres. And again, we're going to move our ruler down, lining up with 0, marking 4 centimetres, and we're going to join those 2 markers up as well. Now we need a 2 centimetre gap, so we line our ruler up with 0, at the line that we've just drawn, mark 2 centimetres, again towards the bottom, 2 centimetres. Lining up our ruler with the line that we've just drawn, and we need 4 centimetres to make our second box. Again, marking at the bottom. Another 2 centimetre gap, so marking our ruler with 0 at the line we've just drawn, 2 centimetres. Lining them up. And the last box, which is 4 centimetres. There's a slightly bigger gap on this side, but that's fine. We can just ignore that. So now we've got our columns of our boxes, we need to do the rows of our boxes. And what you're going to do now is you're going to flip your page so it's landscape. And you're going to, again, this time starting at the line, the last line that you drew, lining your ruler up with that line, making sure that your ruler at 0 is at the edge of the piece of paper, and we're going to go to 2 centimetres, do a marker there. Again, lining your ruler up with the first line that you drew, lining your ruler up with 0, can you see that bit? Lining it up with 0 there, marking at 2 centimetres. And then you're just going to rub out the gap. So you've got a nice gap in between each of the boxes. So now we're ready to start testing our pencils. A standard pencil is absolutely fine, so a normal HB pencil. If you have a set of sketching pencils and you're not sure how to use them, then I'm going to use, for shading today, a 2B, a 4B and a 6B. And they're the only 4 pencils that I'm going to be using. I'm using the 2B, 4B and 6B because obviously they're evenly spaced out. Some sets might have a 3B or a 5B, but these are generally the standard pencils that you would be using in school, or you would have in a set. And the bigger the number, the softer the pencil, so the darker the shading almost. And a lot of people will end up just going in with a 6B straight away, thinking, well, I need to shade in a really dark area, so I'm going to go straight in with the 6B. And actually what you should be doing is grading up to the 6B by using the other pencils first. So, using your normal HB pencil, inside each of these boxes, you are going to start practicing shading. And this might sound a little bit boring, and it might also be a little bit tedious, but trust me, you need to be able to shade effectively to make any of your drawings look good. And you need to be really careful in the direction that you are shading, okay? So I'm going to start a very basic shading, going from dark to light, from left to right. So I'm starting with my normal HB pencil at that edge, and I'm pressing down, not too hard, but I'm just getting a feel for the pencil. And when you're shading, you need to make sure that your pressure is even if you are shading in a solid area. If you want to shade from dark to light, you need to ease the pressure of your pencil. So you'll notice now, to get lighter and lighter, I'm easing the pressure of my pencil. I'm not pressing down as hard. And I can end up with a really nice faded grade. And these kinds of techniques, this practicing is so important if you want to be a better drawer. And the amount of control that you can get by understanding the corners, understanding shape, making sure that you stay in those lines, or getting as close to the line as possible. So I'm totally easing off into nothing here, into just white. I'm not fully happy with this just yet because I don't think it evenly shows the quality of this pencil, on what this pencil can do, but what's really important, what I've done here, is I've not pressed down too hard. And if I want this area darker with a normal HB pencil, all I need to do is just keep building up that layer. And easing off, and going back, pressing down harder, and easing off. Going back over, pressing down harder, and easing off. And actually with this one pencil you can create some really nice depth of shade. So you don't need to have a fancy set of pencils to do this. So that is just HB. Now what will be a good idea to do is to practice with your 2B and see what the difference is between the two, okay? But this time I'm going to shade from a different direction. So I'm going to shade from the bottom up. I can see the print of my tablecloth coming through the paper, and I'm not a fan of that. So I'm going to just place a piece of paper underneath to hopefully eliminate that texture. Now immediately you can see a difference. The pencil's softer, the darker area became darker a lot quicker. So do the same for the 4B and the 6B. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we can use 2 or 3 of these pencils together. I'm going to start with the 2B. I always start with the lightest pencil first because it just helps you build up those layers. So I'm starting with the 2B. Not pressing down too hard, getting into the flow. Easing the pressure. And you'll notice that I've not pressed down as hard as I did do on this one. I've not built up as much layer on this one as I did with just using the 2B because I know I'm using another pencil on top. So now I'm going to take the 4B and I'm going to do the same. And it just, having that base allows you then to build on it, and it then stops you from going too hard too fast. So, you know, you can just then, you've got a lot more control by using a wider range of pencils. And remember, it's just, the darker you go, the harder it is to rub out. So if you start lighter and it's not quite right, you can, you know, rub it out before you start with your next layer on top of it. And by using different graded pencils, it gives you more depth. And your shading can look more accurate. And then you can do one which is 4B and 6B, and then try one that's 2B, 4B and 6B together. Just to get used to your pencils and that kind of thing. I'm going to stop there because I think you've got the gist of what we're doing. What I do want to show you next is how you can put this into practice, how you can apply these skills into producing something a bit more advanced. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you've been able to use your pencils a bit more effectively. Please do check out the next video in which you can apply your skills to something a bit more complex using one point perspective like this drawing here. See you in a bit, guys.